for tuning in. Welcome to my live today. I said I would go live at 4:30. We talked about doing a wreath, finishing my wreath, and I was working on it, but I think we'll come back tomorrow with it. I may need to just explain some things that I did. It may be mostly finished. We'll see. I'm thinking it's so big that it may be hard to do it and get it on the table, and unless I go in a different location or figure something out. So I'm not quite certain what I'm doing on that yet, but my plan is to come back tomorrow with that. So in the meantime, I have a new project here, and it is called Baking Spirits Bright. I'll get my table view here, and I will zoom. Let me get this a little more on the project so you're not seeing all the stuff on it, around it. As you can see, my work area, a lot of times I have a lot of stuff here, so around me. So let me go see if I'm live on my other locations. Now this is the transfer. You can be looking at that, but it's called Baking Spirits Bright. And actually I can give you my website here. So it's couture.com/arlana'screations. So if you go to that website, you'll be able to purchase this transfer and many other things there. So it's a great, they usually are not out of stock, occasionally they get out of stock for a week or so, but then they come back. Now the holiday ones eventually, it'll probably just get to where it's while supplies last, because then towards the end of the season they don't bring those back. So I'm checking to see if I'm live here, and usually there's a delay, and I'm live on Arlana's Creations. So I'm going to say hello, that way I can see the commenting. Please be sure to like, share, and comment if you're on, and sprinkle the love around. I would appreciate that. I'm trying to get this up and running again, and that is the way I'm going to get it going. So I'm definitely live on Arlana's Creations. Okay, I'm also live on Arlana's Creations Chalk Couture. So, and I guess you're seeing me scroll through all that. So I will get this set up here. I will say hello here. So whichever one you're on, I should be going live on YouTube, but for some reason I must not have that quite worked out yet. So I've got to spend some time working on that. Hello, honey, how are you doing? My husband's joining in, so he's off work today, so that's fun to have him join in. He's very supportive of my crafting, and he's trying to help me get this going. So anyway, we know we're live, and I can see commenting, so that's good. Let me grab a drink here real quick. I think I have a little bit left in my cup. I have asthma issues, so It's kind of bothering me at the moment. I feel like I'm having a hard time talking. I'll have to get that filled up again. So we will get started. So this is Baking Spirits Bright. It's a smaller transfer. And I'll take it out of the plastic. You can keep the plastic if you need to put it back into, or you can store it in something else. We end up cutting it on the lines, but on the back side of this, I am going to mark it. And we'll just put it on. We'll put, that's Baking Spirits Bright. This is the gingerbread. That way you know where to put the backer or the pieces back onto. Okay, I'm going to let you look at that for 2 seconds. I'm going to grab some paper over here that I didn't even think about till now. Because I have it right here. So I have a piece we can use. So we're good. I didn't have to, I guess it was there, but I was thinking I might have to get a new sheet. So now we will take, these are our scissors that we carry, our transfer scissors. They cut this very good. I love them for this. And they're just good scissors for anything, actually. But they're nice because they have that long reach on them, and this is the handle part's comfortable. Okay, so we'll set these pieces aside here. And then like I say, there gets to be so much on the table. And I'll probably end up using my Fiskars scissors. These are the Amplified. And this is the long handled, or the long pair. They also make a short one that I like, but in here right now I have this pair. I like them both. Okay, now the next thing we're going to use, and it's called Silly Winks. It looks a little scratched up, but it's okay. And it's just the real thick foam. You can probably get that at any craft store. This is Hobby Lobby's, and it's, anyway, theirs is called Silly Winks. So what we're going to do is, we'll be using that, but we won't do that part yet. So then I'll take a piece of chalk paper, and we are going to chalk on this paper. Now this pad came from, it's Die Cuts with a View, and I was able to find this at Joann's. Now if you had a a way to cut this out. You could actually cut it out in wood. And I do have a way, but it's not set up at the moment. So we're just doing this way. And actually this way is nice because everybody can do this way. So, and then I'm going to take my chalk paste. It needs to be yogurt type consistency. I worked on it before, yogurt or cake batter. Oh, and let me get this off the screen. I apologize for that. And my color is called Bark. Hi, Michelle. Welcome, welcome. Thanks for joining in. So, anyway, we have that cake batter. And so I'm going to chalk this first. And I think I'm going to use my angled squeegee because it holds a lot. Let me slide this down a bit and get it more in view. I could have even used the copper. There's a copper that I used on the ornaments. And we were trying to decide that before, but I decided just to go with the more brown. Now you just get all your excess off of there because you don't need that much and there's no sense in wasting it. So that part's good. And then I'm gonna clean that a little bit. I'm gonna get my lid on real quick so it doesn't dry out. And this is ready to pull and peel. Now I should have maybe fuzzed this. Most of our transfers lately have not been real sticky though, and it is okay. I do see a spot or two right here that I probably didn't push it hard enough. I'll take a paintbrush and instead of laying this back down, I'll just touch that up. Now also you would take this normally and you would run to the sink and wash it really quick. That's the best way to do it. But I'll just set it aside and I'll do that after. So before I dry this, I might as well I'm just going to take my fine paintbrush. Like I said, it's just a spot or two, so it's not, I could put it back down, but this way you have less risk of ruining it and having to start over or clean it off. Now if it's just a piece of wood, you wash it off with the board eraser and there's no problems. But see, that fixed that in 2 seconds. So, and it bled right there just a titch, but that's not even an issue because we're going to cut that out. So I'll take this now and I'm going to got a little bit on my hands. I'm going to take my blow dryer and I have it on a cool setting. And I am just going to blow dry it for a second. And you want it to get pretty dry because you don't want it to lift up when you put the rest of the stuff down. That's why cool's almost better, because sometimes the heat just stays hot so long. So, and it's filling dry. It looks a little marbly, but it may just be drying a little more, but that kind of gives a fun effect to it. I like it. So I think we're good with that now. This part has registration marks on it, and I'm trying to, you almost need to do the white of the eyes first. So I guess wherever I end up placing that. This part's a little tricky. Just trying to figure out exactly where it goes, but I think that'll work there. So, and we just need, I've already mixed my white, and I have that yogurt consistency too. So I'll just use my little small squeegee. Move that back down. Sorry about that. And you do have these little registration marks. We're cutting that out anyway, so that shows you where you need to line it up with. So we can do that because it'll be fine for what we're doing. So, and I'll just put this piece aside to wash that too. Now I'll have to dry the eyes before I can put that back down. You know, and actually that doesn't make sense how they've got that. I don't, because the eyes aren't going to be that far apart. So I don't know what they did there. I'm going to go back over that with brown. Let me dry that. And we are going to do brown back over that. I guess I should have watched somebody else's little live on that, but that does not work out right, because then I kept thinking they seemed too far out. Oh, you know what that is? That's probably the cheeks. So the white would have been, that's what that is. That's not even for the eyes. Because I was thinking they did a white eye with a black. So that's my mistake. But we'll dry that. If I have to put another coat on it, we'll see. The one thing about the chalk stuff, it's easy to fix. And since you can tell that I did that, I am going to actually, the transfer is still good enough. I'm going to lay this back down and I am going to quickly chalk it again. Since it's only been used once. I just need to make certain that I get my bubbles out of it. Now, probably when I put everything on there, it might not even have shown up, but hopefully this will be a little better. Okay, and then we'll peel that up. So that works, and we'll have to dry this. I think that's good. So what I'm gonna cut a little bit of this board off because I keep getting it off the table here because it's hanging over the edge a bit. This way I can hopefully do better at keeping it in view here. So this kind of gives it some marbling, a little bit of texture, so I think we're good with that. So then you just line this up here. And you just have to figure out where it goes. See what I think about that, or if I need it. I think I need to move it over just slightly. A titch. Okay. I think that'll work. So we'll do the pole method where we'll, like I did last night, the chalk and the pole, and we will do the eyes. That's a lot better. And then we'll use red for the mouth. So I'm gonna just mix it up good. I don't need to add water because I'm about at the end of it, and I was using the red yesterday. The consistency is good. Now this actually is something that we don't carry, and I could use my long multi-tool, but it's just a little bigger. This is just for real small stuff. This is working really good. It makes a perfect little squeegee for the real small areas. And then I'm thinking I'll do this maybe in white. We'll try that. Somehow I picked up some brown there. I don't know where that... Maybe from that other squeegee, but I didn't see any there. Yeah, that's cute with the white. I think since it was next to the red mouth that the white's cute. Then I can do the red or the red and white on the other part. Okay, let me get this wiped up right there because we don't want that to get on us or transfer to anything. So, and I'm thinking do those red. Let's do that much red. We'll see where we're at. I might end up doing it all red, but let's fill that up and see what we think. Now there was one tiny spot there that ended up white because I got it white before. See if I can push that through. Yeah, I just wasn't getting up there quite high enough, I guess. That's better. Okay, so we'll dry that. Okay, now I do think I'm gonna do the white where the rest of it is. I'll just give it a little variation, and I have a red and white ribbon I want to use, so and after we get this part, we'll just peel the whole thing off and dry what's left of it. So there's that part. You just want to still set that aside. The red really bleeds, so yeah, you really want to keep that out of there. There's so many switches on my blow dryer that sometimes it gets you confused which one you gotta click on. I'm gonna set this back here like I put it out of the way. Let me grab some pink for cheeks. So I could just do a little light cheek on there. And then I'm going to wash this. I'll bring this other piece back up. And I will show you how to wash it quickly with just a baby wipe, since it's not a big piece and since it's totally a different color. And if there's any paste in there, because it's sat, it won't go through as good. And you had I still don't know that I totally did it right. You had the registration mark, so I don't know exactly what they were doing with those. I have seen this put together before on a live, so, but I guess I didn't even think about that. So you want to make certain your transfer is dry. And that will work. So I'm just going to place it where I think they should be, and they're probably real close to the mouth there. Let's see what color I grabbed. Cherry Blossom. I don't think I've ever used this. So, hello, Tanya. Thanks for joining. So you just have to get it mixed up good. I'm not using very much, but I probably would. Oh, that's okay. Thanks for joining for a minute. That's nice that you're able to join in for a minute. So that helps get it more, the water, of course, gets it more the consistency. Now, and I don't know, we didn't talk about this yet in this video, but this is our Couture spray bottle. I have distilled water in here. You want to make certain that there's distilled water. So, and that helps. Usually you need 2 or 3 sprays of it. And usually at the end of when I go to clean my stuff up and put them away, I end up, it's better to put the water in it. And sorry about my little ding. I guess I'm getting notifications. On my phone, I guess I don't have it on silent. I had the other on silent, and too many things I've got here. So we'll see how the pink looks. If I want it, I think I want a little definition with it. So let me see if I can get this one to open. These were left out in the heat in our storage, so I had to salvage them. Right now that one's not going to open. Let me see if I have another color real quick that might be better. I don't know if I'm liking the color I used on there. It was okay, but it almost looks white. This is kind of a corally color, but that might be more like a cheek color. There is not a lot left in this one. but I don't need much. If nothing else, it may make it look a little more variegated. Yeah, I like that better. So that brought more color out. Okay, so now we're done with that part of the gingerbread. We'll cut around the gingerbread. Let me hurry and close my paste so that they don't dry out on me. That's always the best way to do it. Oh, I'm glad you like the color, Tanya. Oh, and the other thing we can do here is I'm just going to take my permanent marker. I also have a chalk marker, but I have my permanent marker right here. So I can just add a little black in there for the eyes, so that it's not just white. Okay, so now I'll take and we're just going to cut around this. Just got my little paper scissors. So, and if you've seen any of my other lives, we're using the foam to make it look like you cut a piece of wood out, and it's going to give it some dimension. You could have just chalked this straight onto your board though. Alright, I haven't showed you. We are going to use the pillar base, and I didn't show that yet. But I kind of wanted a dimension. I wanted it to stand out. So I thought that would be fun to do it that way. This is more of an inexpensive way to do it, and a lot of people don't have the wood or the means to cut out. So I'm just going to grab my red tape. It's just a real sticky tape. And I'm going to turn this over. And I'm going to put the tape in about 3 spots on it. Maybe a little more, because it's just depends on your shape. The other night I did like 3, but we may have to get on the arms there. and maybe a couple of pieces up there the way it's cut. That way it'll stick down good to the foam. So there's that. So it's all ready. So, and like I said before, I got that at Hobby Lobby. It's called Silly Winks, and it's just the thicker foam. If you didn't have thick foam, you could tape some foam together and make layers of foam. Okay, that tape is really sticky, and then the red tape just clings to everything. Okay, and it looks like a teeny bit flaked off of there somehow when I was cutting it, so we'll have to touch that little spot right back up with some paint. Now I think I'll take my bigger scissors. I think that's what I've cut with before, but I'm just going to cut around here. The other thing is you could have made a template ahead of time and tried to have this just cut out. I may have to bring my little amp scissors back in because they're a little bit smaller for cutting this foam. It might be better. I use those a lot on my embroidery when I'm doing vinyl. But I like the long ones too. It just depends on what you're doing with them. But the little ones have a little bit more, they're just shorter. Oh, thanks. Merry Christmas to you, Tanya. Have fun at work. Glad you could join for a minute. Okay, so now that I have that cut, I'm going to take my paintbrush. That's how we're going to touch this up here at the top too. I'm going to take my paintbrush and I'm going to take my paint and I'm going to go around the edge. I see a spot here though that I need to get cut out of here. I'm just going to use a small paintbrush. So let me close this. I thought I got everything closed. I guess not. They say you get so much stuff here on the table that and because this is going to be a little messy, I'm going to pull out my parchment that I had yesterday. Because we're still going to have to dry this too. See, and that just kind of finishes it off. And you can't even tell that you used the foam even. So I hope everybody's had a good day today, and I was working on my wreath and decided I would, it's so big that I think I may just have to explain some things on it. So we'll revisit that tomorrow like I am hoping to do anyway, and then we'll move on another day with a different project. Now there's that piece that kind of got flaked off of there from cutting. Okay, so I think I need a little bit right there. Guess you can't see that when I'm Got it up in the air like that. Okay, and I'll take my blow dryer because I want to go around the edge with it. And I'll have to get this brown off of me so I don't transfer it to something else. Maybe I just need to come down a bit because it seems like I keep getting out of view a little bit today. Okay. Now I think I'll get my glue gun turned on here. And I don't think I'm going to glue it to the board though. I think actually I'll show you my board, but I'll be letting my glue gun heat up for a second while we're moving on here. Let me get these pastes out of the way. And we'll just kind of let that sit there a second. I'll show you what we're going to do next. So this is our pillar board. In fact, I am going to have to go way out so you can see this. So this is our pillar stand and board, and you can put it either way. So, but we need ours this way. And then on the back side here, there's a little peg and there's a hole. And you would put that peg in there to hold it stationary. And we can show you that in a minute. But what we're going to do is I am just going to use my sticky tape. So if I ever want to use this pillar board for something else, I can. And I'm probably just going to do like a little piece there, there, and there. Just some small pieces. I think it'll hold it just fine. This stuff is really sticky. And see how cute that is, that it stands out like that? That really makes it kind of fun. So I really think if we just do these little small pieces, that it'll hold it. Seems like I've been using a lot of this red tape lately on different things. It's just a heavier little tape. It does cling though. That's the only thing I don't like about the red stuff is this stuff you peel off clings to everything. Sometimes you can't even get it off your hands. It's so clingy. Okay, so we're just gonna turn this over. Now I'm gonna want to position it, so I'm gonna hold it up like this and lay it down. So that seems to be holding it just fine. So now what we're gonna do is I'm going to find that little peg I had here. Here it is. So they put tape on this little peg. And it's on the underside of your board. And I need to... So the hole goes in the back. So we'll turn that over. And you just line it up with the other hole. And I've got that secure. If you can see that, it is in there. At least I think it is. Let me just double check that I'm... No, it is. It's just... For some reason the hole seems a little off, which is making it slightly wobbly there, but when you get it situated it'll be okay. This is the first one I've ever seen this way. I've used these before and I've never noticed that. So now the next thing we're going to use, and I got these at Walmart. I think they were a couple of bucks. I can't remember. They wasn't too much. And you could make two out of here, because you could do gingerbread house on one and gingerbread on the other. I think I'll just use the gingerbread. So that's going to hang down here. And I have a couple of ribbons, but I think I really like this little white one with the little furry edge, so I think I'm going to use that. And maybe we'll tie an actual bow, so let me set this aside for a minute. And I'm just going to take a piece of pipe cleaner here. And I probably want a streamer. And one thing I can do on the one end already and get that ready is I can do my little dovetail. So you fold it in half. And you make like a V in it. But it's technically called a dovetail, but I just sometimes call it a V shape because that's what you're doing to it. So you're going to decide how much you want streaming down. I try not to make it too so that I have a lot of waste. Oh, and then you just decide how big you want your bow. So you make a loop, push it in, make another loop, and I think we're going to do a couple of these. Make a loop, push it in, and then let's do 3. It's a big, we can just make it with 3. So you just keep looping back and forth. And then I'll tie this with my pipe cleaner. Now sometimes I'll make a loop in the center, but we're going to cover this up with stuff there, so I don't think I want the loop. So we'll fold this in half. And we'll make our little dovetail. And then you can work on straightening this out how you want it. And fluffing it up. So we'll bring this back here. And now with your pipe cleaner on there, you're just going to tie that to the board. Twist it on the back anyway. So we have that. Now I can take actually, I think I'm going to get some little baker's twine back here. I have a little red and white baker's twine. Yep. I think we'll use the baker's twine to add that. And I'm just going to double it or triple it because it's thinner. I'll probably triple it. So we'll see if I want it there or like that. I'm going to stand it up a minute so I can get a view of it. Okay. First off, I have a new thing I think I'll do. We'll take it here. And I'm just going to tie a knot in the center here. So I put it around it, and then so I just have it, now it's tied, right, with just a knot there. I think this will hang a little better that way. So I'll turn it over. And I'm actually just going to tie this in a bow in the back. You're not going to see it, so if you ever want to take it off, because you want to change this out to something else, that way you can. So see how cute that is now. That's why I have my glue gun on. I have these cute little peppermint candies, and I will just clip that off. But I also have these little gingerbreads. So I could do that, and then I have one more here. Let me take this off and see if I want to add a third one up in there. So you could do the 3, but I almost think just the 2 is fine. I have another little candy cane here. Let's see if we want to throw the little candy cane. I'm thinking that, oh, I did forget, I did have this greenery out, but maybe the greenery would be too much. Let me pull a stem off, but that might add to it also. Actually, that's just 2 pieces there. So you could add some greenery, but I don't like that much. Let me just try a little piece. And we may not even use it. Sometimes this stuff is just trial and error. No, the greenery, just that little bit is kind of cute. It just adds some color, so I think that we could put that in there. So I have my glue gun on, and I've got just my Ryobi glue gun. I love it because it's cordless. Oh, and then we'll get this glued, and then we have a completed project. I think this turned out way cute. Welcome, Debbie. Welcome, welcome. So this was our Baking Spirits Bright project. That's the transfer, and I used a foam board or just the little foam, and I used some scrapbook chalk paper. So you could always go back and rewatch it from the beginning, but I think it turned out way cute. Let me get stuff out of the way here. Let me make it so you can see more of it. Well, I guess I'm zoomed out as far as I'm gonna get. So there's a picture of the completed project. So I want to thank everybody for joining me. It's been a fun little project. And let me see if I can stand it up here. I don't know if you get a better view this way. So, kind of fun. I'll have to get a picture and post the picture. But anyway, thanks everyone for joining my live today, and I will have my little gingerbread here. We'll go back to that for a second. Was not quite dry, so I'll lay this back down so you can see it. But anyway, thanks so much for joining me, and have a good night, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye.